The night sky over the lava-filled world of Drakkar 4 glowed red and orange. Volcanoes rumbled, ash floated in the air, and rivers of fire moved like snakes across the rocky land. The wind carried heat, smoke, and the cries of creatures that lived in the fire. High in the dark sky, wings sliced through the smoke. It was Varnock, a male of the proud Drakkari species, dragon-like beings with large wings, strong claws, and thick black scales. His eyes were sharp, his body strong, but his heart was full of fear. In his front claws, Varnock held something precious, his young son, Rakul, no bigger than a small animal. The hatchling was hurt. His tiny wings were torn, his scales were burned, and his breathing was weak. Ash covered his body. His eyes, once full of energy, were now closed. Varnock roared into the night, filled with pain. "Hold on, my son. Stay with me." He looked down at the ground far below. The cave had collapsed. Rocks and lava had buried everything. His home was gone. His mate was gone. And now his only child was dying. The Drakkari were proud warriors. They did not ask for help. They trusted no one, especially not outsiders. But Varnock had no choice. His son needed healing, and there was only one place in the sector known for such miracles: a human outpost. Varnock beat his wings hard and rose into the sky. He flew away from the burning lands of his ancestors, carrying the last piece of his broken family. Outpost. Haven floated on the edge of space, built into a small moon above a gas giant. It was quiet, clean, and simple. Humans lived there, scientists, doctors, engineers. They helped travelers, traded supplies, and studied the stars. Inside the outpost, Dr. Lena Moore, a human doctor with short brown hair and gentle eyes, sat in her small clinic. She read a datapad and sipped tea. It had been a quiet week. A few miners came in with burns. A merchant had a broken leg. Nothing unusual. Suddenly, the outpost's alarm blared. "Warning, unidentified ship approaching. Large biological life form detected." Lena stood up quickly. She ran to the viewing window. Outside, something massive came through the black sky. A giant shape with wide wings, shining eyes, and claws. "A Drakkari," someone whispered. Guards ran to the docking bay. Weapons were raised. Panic spread. The Drakkari were feared across the galaxy. They were strong, fast, and dangerous, and this one was heading straight for them. Lena ran after the guards. "Wait, don't shoot. Let me see." The landing pad shook as the dragon landed. His wings folded. His body was massive, dark, and covered in battle scars. But his eyes were not full of rage. They were full of sorrow. Slowly, Varnock stepped forward and opened his front claws. Inside lay his son, burned, bleeding, and still. "My son, please," Varnock said, his voice deep and shaky. "Help him!" The guards hesitated. One stepped forward. "Drop the creature! Back away!" But Lena rushed past them all. Her eyes locked on the tiny body in the dragon's claws. She saw the weak rise and fall of the little chest. "He's alive," she said. "We have to move now." Lena took off her coat and carefully wrapped the hatchling. "Bring him to the med bay, now!" "No," Varnock growled. "I will not leave him." Lena looked up at the giant dragon. Her voice was calm. "Then come with me. But don't hurt anyone." Varnock nodded once. He followed her, slowly, gently, his wings brushing the walls. In the med bay, machines beeped and lights blinked. Lena placed Rakul on the table. She started, scanning, injecting medicine, and cleaning wounds. Her hands moved fast but careful. "He's badly burned," she said. "He has broken bones. His blood is thickening. He's going into shock." She gave him oxygen. She checked his pulse. She whispered softly, "Stay with me, little one. Just a bit longer." Varnock stood like a statue in the corner. He watched her every move. His heart raced. His claws dug. into the metal floor. Outside, more humans gathered. Some were angry, some afraid. What is that thing doing here? Why are we helping a dragon? Send it away! But Lena didn't care. All she saw was a dying child, and a father who had risked everything to save him. Hours passed. The medbay was quiet now. The machines beeped slowly. Rakul slept in a healing pod, his small chest rising and falling. Lena sat beside the pod, her face tired but calm. Varnock lowered his great head. Will he live? Lena looked up. I don't know yet, but he's fighting. He's strong. Varnock looked at her closely. Why are you helping him? Lena smiled softly. Because he's a child. Because he needs help. That's what I do. No one has ever helped us before, Varnock said. Humans fear us. Maybe it's time that changed, Lena answered. For a moment, the great dragon was silent. My mate died 2 cycles ago, he said quietly. She gave her life to save him. And now, he is all I have. Lena nodded. Then we'll do everything we can. The next morning, Rakul's condition was stable. His burns had started to heal. The pod gave him warmth and medicine. He looked peaceful. Lena walked into the room and saw something surprising. Varnock was humming. A low, deep sound came from his chest. It was like a lullaby, a song in an old Drakari tongue. His eyes were soft. His claws touched the pod gently. Lena didn't interrupt. She simply stood there and listened. Later that day, the news of what happened spread through the outpost. Some were angry, some were amazed. Children drew pictures of the small dragon. They taped them to the medbay window. One child wrote, "Get well soon, little friend." Varnock saw the drawings. He didn't understand. What are these? Gifts, Lena said, from the human children, for Rakul. He looked at her, confused. You give gifts to a stranger? Lena smiled. We give love to those who need it. That night, Varnock stepped outside and looked at the stars. He thought about his home, his mate, and the fear he had lived with for so long. But now something inside him felt different. A human, a creature he once saw as weak, had shown him strength not of the body but of the heart. The metal walls of Outpost Haven's medical bay were quiet, filled only with the soft beeping of machines. Dr. Lena Moore stood beside the healing pod, watching the small dragon hatchling, Rakul, breathe slowly. His burns were healing. His tiny chest rose and fell. His small claws twitched now and then. She gently adjusted the medical scanner and sighed with relief. He made it through the night, she whispered. Behind her, a heavy breath came from the corner. Varnock, the large male dragon, and Rakul's father had not slept. He stood like a silent guard, his wings folded, eyes fixed on his son. He still lives? Varnock asked in a low voice. Lena turned to face him. Yes, he's strong. But he's not safe yet. His body is healing, but he needs time. Varnock walked closer, careful not to knock over any equipment with his large frame. He stared down at the pod. You gave him life, he said softly. No, Lena said with a smile. You did. You brought him here. The dragon said nothing. For a moment he just stood there, listening to the machines and the gentle humming of the healing. Pod outside the medical bay, the outpost was tense. Humans whispered in the halls. Some were scared, some were angry. Armed guards stood near the bay doors keeping watch. Why are we helping a dragon? One engineer asked. They're dangerous, another said. They breathe fire and destroy ships. Dr. Moore is protecting a monster. The commander of Outpost Haven, Captain Tessa Rain, stood with folded arms. She looked through the window at the giant dragon sitting beside his son. She's not protecting a monster, Tessa said. She's treating a child. That's what doctors do. The others said nothing. Inside the medbay, Lena ran scans on Rakul's body. She read the data with a thoughtful frown. "Strange," she said. "What is it?" Varnock asked, watching her closely. "Your son's blood is different. His healing is fast, faster than I expected. And there's something unusual in his genes." Varnock tilted his head. "He was born smaller than the others. My clan called him weak, but my mate believed he was special." Lena nodded. "He might be. His body is adapting, changing, almost like it's evolving." Varnock's eyes narrowed. "What does that mean?" "I don't know yet," she said. "But it's not bad. It may even be important." As the day passed, Lena worked on adjusting the healing pod. She gave Rakul small doses of special medicine made for alien skin. She carefully cleaned his burns. When she touched his tiny scales, his tail moved a little. "He's reacting," Lena said with hope. "He can feel again." Varnock leaned closer. He made a deep, soft sound from his chest. It was not a roar or a growl. It was a hum, like a song. Rakul's tiny eyes blinked, just for a second. "He hears me," Varnock whispered. Lena watched. The giant creature showed such gentle care. She could see now, this wasn't just a fearsome beast. This was a father, full of love and worry. "You care for him more than anything," she said. "He is my only reason to live," Varnock answered. That evening, Lena brought a small chair to the side of the pod. She sat next to the dragon and spoke softly. "You don't talk like the stories say," she told him. "What stories?" "Old ones," Lena said. "About your kind, that Drakari are heartless, that you destroy everything, that you hate us." Varnock looked away. "Your kind has killed many of mine too. We only return what we receive." Lena nodded. "Yes. War creates hate, and hate creates more war. But not everyone wants to fight." Varnock looked at her again. "Then why do you help me?" "Because I became a doctor to save lives, not to judge them." Varnock stared at her in silence. "No one in my clan would believe this," he said. "A human caring for a dragon. Let them be surprised," Lena said with a small laugh. For the first time, Varnock made a sound like a soft rumble. It was not laughter, but close. Later, human children gathered outside the medbay window. They had heard stories of the little dragon. With their teacher, they drew pictures on tablets and paper, colorful hearts, stars, and a smiling Rakul, one. Brave child Sarah walked to the door and asked to give a gift. "What is it?" Lena asked. Sarah held up a small plush toy. "It's a soft bear. Maybe the baby dragon would like it." Lena smiled warmly. "I think he would." She walked over to Rakul and gently placed the plush bear next to him in the pod. Varnock watched, with curiosity. "What is this?" "It's a toy," Lena said. "For comfort. Human children sleep with them." Varnock looked at the soft bear, then at Rakul. His eyes softened again. "My kind does not play with such things," he said quietly. "But maybe he will be the first." That night, Rakul opened his eyes for the first time. They were golden, wide and full of wonder. He made a weak chirping sound. Varnock rushed forward, his large head close to the pod. "Rakul," he whispered. The baby dragon looked at him, and then at Lena. Then slowly, he reached his small claw toward the soft bear. Lena gasped. He moved. Varnock's chest rumbled with deep joy. He touched the pod gently. "My son, my little flame, you came back to me." News of Rakul's recovery spread fast. Some humans began to change their minds. They saw the pictures, heard the stories, and watched the video of Rakul blinking at his father. Still, others remained afraid. "They're still dragons," one man muttered. What if they turn on us? But Captain Tessa made her voice clear. One child, one doctor, one moment, that's how peace begins. The next morning, Lena ran more tests. Rakul was growing stronger. His skin was healing faster than any other patient she had seen. This is amazing, she told Varnock. Your son's cells are repairing faster than I thought possible. Varnock nodded. He is stronger than any of us imagined. He may be something new, Lena said. Something your kind has never seen before. What do you mean? Lena looked at the scans again. His body is changing, adapting. It's possible your son is evolving. He could be the start of a new generation of Drakari. Varnock stared at her, stunned. A new kind of dragon? Maybe, Lena said. One that survives better, one that connects. Varnock said nothing, but deep in his heart he knew his son was special, and the humans, these soft, fragile beings, had given him a chance. Suddenly, an alert sounded through the outpost. A new ship was approaching, big, fast. Drakari markings on its hull. Lena's heart raced. Are they coming for you? Varnock's eyes turned sharp. I sent a signal before I came. I didn't know if we'd make it. It may be my clan. The outpost shook slightly as the large warship slowed and began docking procedures. Captain, Tessa called from the intercom. Dr. Moore, prepare. Drakari warship has arrived. Lena looked at Rakul, then at Varnock. What will they do when they see this? I don't know, the dragon said, but I will protect you, all of you. The dark gray body of the Drakari warship slowly landed on the outer pad of Outpost Haven. Its engines were silent now, but tension filled the air. The humans stood ready. Guards held weapons, though their hands shook. Scientists and engineers peeked around corners. Everyone had the same question. Would the dragons attack? Inside the medical bay, Varnock stood protectively in front of the healing pod. His large wings were spread, his claws ready, but his eyes were calm as he looked at Dr. Lena Moore. They may not understand, he said. Lena nodded. I'm not. Sure they'll care. They might think we hurt your son. Then I will stop them, Varnock growled. Lena touched his arm gently. Let's try to talk first. Rakul, the little dragon, slept inside the pod. His small body glowed under the healing lights. He looked peaceful, like he knew his father was near. A deep hum filled the hallway as the warship's airlock opened. Heavy footsteps echoed through the corridor. The walls vibrated as 3 Drakari warriors entered the outpost. They were massive, black-scaled, armored, and taller than any human. Their yellow eyes glowed, and smoke curled from their nostrils. Each carried a long energy staff. The leader, Commander Threxen, stepped forward. His voice was sharp and loud. Where is Varnock? We received his signal. Is he alive? Captain Tessa met them in the main hallway. Her voice was calm but strong. He's inside our medbay. His son was hurt. He brought him here. Threxen narrowed his eyes. You treated him? Yes, she said. Threxen looked around slowly. Strange. You did not shoot him down. You did not capture him. You helped him. Because we're not your enemy, Captain Tessa replied. Threxen gave a small snort. We will see. Lena stood by the pod when the warriors arrived at the medical bay. Varnock raised his head, staring at his own kind. Threxen, he said. Varnock, the commander replied. You asked for help, and now we find you in the hands of humans. They saved my son, Varnock said firmly. They did what no Drakari could. Threxen walked to the pod. He looked down at Rakul. His eyes showed surprise for a moment. He lives? He does, Lena said, stepping forward. I'm Dr. Lena Moore. I treated him, Threxen growled. Why? Because he's a child. Because he was dying. Because his father begged me. The other warriors looked at each other. One whispered, "Dragons don't beg." Varnock turned to them. "Then I broke our pride, and I would do it again. My son is alive because of this human." Lena stood quietly. She didn't move, even as the warriors glared at her. Later that evening, Threxen spoke with Varnock privately. "You have changed," Threxen said. "Perhaps," Varnock replied. "Or perhaps I have simply seen something you have not. You risked everything. I gained everything." Threxen looked through the glass at Rakul, then at the human children's drawing still taped to the wall. "What is all this? Gifts, kindness, things we have never known." Threxen frowned. "The council will not like this." "I do not care," Varnock said. "My son was dying. The humans saved him. Would you trust them with more?" Varnock's eyes burned with quiet fire. "Yes." As the days passed, Rakul grew stronger. He opened his eyes more often. He began to chirp and move his tail. He even tapped the pod glass when Lena entered the room. "He recognizes you," Varnock said with wonder. Lena smiled. "He's a smart boy." One day, Lena sang a soft song while working. It was an old Earth lullaby. She didn't think about it much. She just sang while checking the monitors. To her surprise, Rakul blinked and made a soft sound, almost like he was trying to hum with her. Varnock looked shocked. "He is copying you." "He likes the sound," Lena said. "Music is soothing." "We don't sing. Maybe you should." Slowly, the mood in Outpost Haven changed. The humans stopped whispering in fear. They started to smile when they saw Rakul on the screen. Some brought more drawings, others made small toys. Even the guards relaxed. One mechanic, Jonas, came to see Lena. "I never thought I'd see a dragon baby," he said. "Now you have," she replied. Jonas chuckled. "Never thought I'd see one smile either." Inside the pod, Rakul's eyes watched them. He blinked slowly and made a soft, happy sound. One morning, Lena noticed something strange on her screen. She checked Rakul's DNA again. The computer beeped. The results were clearer now. His genes. "They're changing," she whispered. Varnock walked over. "What is it?" Lena turned the screen to him. "Your son. His blood is different from yours. His cells are doing something unique. It's like he's adapting." "Adapting to what?" "Maybe to survive," Lena said. "Maybe to live in different places, even places without fire, or with less heat." Varnock's eyes widened. "That's impossible." "No," Lena said softly. "It's evolution, natural change, but faster. It may be rare, very rare." Threxen overheard. He stepped inside. "What are you saying?" "I think," Lena said, "that your son is special, not just because he survived, but because he might be the key to your people's future." Threxen frowned. "Explain." "I found something," Lena said, showing the screen. "A mutation, a change in the blood. It fights diseases. It heals fast. And it might help others like him." Varnock looked at his son with pride and fear. "He is more than I thought." The next day, Threxan sent a message to the Drakari High Council. He told them about the healing, the human doctor, and Rakul's special blood. He didn't lie. But he didn't tell everything. He ended the message with only this: "You must come. You must see." One evening, Varnock stood outside looking at the stars. Lena walked up beside him. "You don't talk much at night," she said. "I remember." "My mate," he replied. "We used to sit under the lava skies of Drakar 4. She believed the stars held stories." She sounded wise. She believed in peace, even when others laughed at her. Lena looked up at the stars. Maybe now. Her dream is closer. Maybe, Varnock said softly, because of you. Inside the medical bay, Rakul stood on his feet for the first time. He wobbled a bit, then balanced. His wings fluttered weakly. Lena and Varnock gasped. "He's walking," Lena said. Rakul looked up at her, his eyes bright, his tail wagged. Then, he did something shocking. He stepped forward, hugged her leg gently with his little claws, and made a soft sound. It was a mix of a purr and a word. Na. Lena's eyes filled with tears. Varnock watched in silence. His chest swelled with emotion. For the first time in his life, a dragon had spoken a human's name with love. The days passed slowly in Outpost Haven, but the quiet was filled with growing tension. The news about Rakul's healing and his unusual blood had spread beyond the small medical bay. Scientists from nearby stations began sending messages. The Drakari High Council was watching closely. Inside the med bay, Dr. Lena Moore was working late into the night. The healing pod glowed softly under the dim lights. Rakul slept peacefully inside, his small wings twitching. His breathing was steady. The little dragon looked almost normal, but Lena knew better. His blood was different. She studied the latest scans again. The mutation in his cells was unlike anything she had seen before. It was not just a mutation. It was a secret. Lena whispered to herself, "This could change everything." Outside the med bay, Varnock stood tall but restless. His claws tapped the metal floor as he paced. He had been waiting for news from the Drakari Council, but no answers came. The pride of his kind was strong, but they were also proud of their survival. For centuries, the Drakari had faced extinction. Their population was shrinking. Disease was killing many of their young. Rakul was the first in generations to survive such an injury and heal so fast. Varnock felt hope and fear. The next morning, Lena invited Varnock into her private lab. She needed to show him what she had discovered. She opened her datapad and projected a hologram of Rakul's blood cells. Tiny shapes moved quickly, changing color. "Look here," Lena said. "Rakul's blood cells fight infections faster than normal. They repair damaged tissue in hours, not days." Varnock leaned closer. "This is impossible. How can one child carry such power?" "It's not just power," Lena said slowly. "It's evolution. Your son's body is creating new defenses, new ways to survive. He may be the key to saving your species." Varnock's eyes grew wide. "Saving my species? What do you mean?" Lena paused. "I studied the Drakari disease. It kills thousands each cycle. Your people are losing hope." Varnock bowed his head. "Yes, many have died. My mate was one of them. I believe Rakul's mutation can help create a cure. But we need to study him more." Varnock looked up. "You want to experiment on my son?" "No," Lena said quickly. "I want to help him, and your people. But I need your trust." Varnock stared at her. After a long silence, he nodded. "You have it." Meanwhile, on the warship docked outside, Commander Threxen spoke with the other warriors. "The humans have changed him," Threxen said. "They have changed the child." "Is this good?" one warrior asked. "I don't know," Threxen replied, "but we must be careful." He sent a message to the Drakari High Council. "The child lives. His blood is different. Humans hold the key. You must come and decide." A few days later, a small delegation arrived at Outpost Haven. The Drakari Council was made up of ancient dragons, wise and cold. They wore heavy armor and spoke with deep voices. They entered the medbay silently. Their eyes scanned the room. Then they stopped at the pod. One elder, Elder Karos, leaned in close. "He lives," Karos said, "but he is changed." Yes, Lena answered. His mutation is strong. It could help your people survive. The council looked at each other. This is unexpected, Karos said slowly. We will discuss. The elders left, leaving tension in their wake. That night, Varnock sat outside the medbay. Lena joined him. They will decide Rakul's fate, she said softly. Varnock sighed. I fear they will not understand. You have changed, Lena said. You have opened a door. Varnock looked at the stars. My mate believed in peace, in hope. I want to believe too. Lena smiled. We will find a way. Suddenly the medbay alarms blared. Rakul's pod flashed red. Lena rushed inside. The monitors showed his heart rate dropping. He's having a reaction, Lena said, injecting medicine quickly. Varnock paced, roaring softly. Minutes passed. Slowly, Rakul's breathing steadied. Lena wiped sweat from her forehead. He's stable. Varnock knelt beside the pod. He is strong, like his mother. The next day, the council returned with an answer. They wanted to study Rakul in their own labs. They demanded he be taken from the humans. Varnock was torn. Will they care for him as you do? He asked Lena. I hope so, Lena answered. But I'm afraid they might not. Varnock looked at his son, asleep and peaceful. No, he said, I will protect him. Not just from them. From anyone. The council was angry. They threatened to take Rakul by force. Captain Tessa stepped forward. This outpost will not allow it, she said firmly. Rakul stays here. For now, tensions grew. The Drakari warriors prepared to fight. The humans prepared their defenses, but Varnock stood between them. No one will harm my son, he said, his voice low and fierce. He looked at the council. You may be wise, but you do not know him. You do not know what he means to me. The elders looked surprised. No Drakari had ever stood against the council. Lena placed a hand on Varnock's arm. We will find a way to help everyone. Days later, Rakul woke again. This time he opened his eyes wide. He looked at Varnock and then at Lena. He reached out his small claw and touched Lena's hand. Nah, he whispered again. Lena smiled through tears. Varnock felt a deep fire in his chest, a mix of hope and love. His son was not just alive, he was the future. The bright lights of Outpost Haven glowed against the blackness of space. Inside the medical bay, tension filled the air like thick fog. The long battle between hope and fear was reaching its peak. The Drakari High Council had arrived with heavy demands. They wanted Rakul to be returned, taken from human hands to theirs. They feared what the humans might do to their young. The humans feared what the Drakari might do if they insisted by force. Varnock stood at the center of the storm. His broad wings folded tight. His claws clenched. His heart burned with fierce protectiveness. His son, his small and fragile son, rested inside the healing pod, surrounded by machines and light. No one will harm him, Varnock said, his voice deep and steady. Not while I breathe. Outside, the heavy Drakari warriors moved through the halls, their armor clanking, their eyes watching every human. Tensions flared. Weapons were ready. Every step echoed like a warning. Inside the medbay, Captain Tessa Rain stood with her officers. She spoke quietly, but firmly. We cannot allow violence here. This is a place of healing. We protect those who need help. Lena nodded beside her. Rakul's survival means more than just one life. It means hope for all Drakari. The commander of the council, Elder Karos, stepped forward. You humans speak of hope, but what if your hope brings ruin? What if this child changes everything, for worse? Varnock's eyes blazed. He will change the future for better. Suddenly, alarms rang through the outpost. Lights flashed red. Unknown ship detected, approaching fast. All eyes turned to the viewports. A massive Dracari warship entered the system. Its engines burned bright. It moved with purpose. The council elders whispered among themselves. This ship was a fleet command vessel. It carried the highest authority from the Dracari homeworld. The warship docked. From it came a new figure, a tall Dracari, cloaked in golden armor. His presence demanded respect and fear. "This is High Commander Rethal," Threxen whispered. Rethal entered the medbay with a sharp gaze. His eyes swept the room. He looked down at Rakul. "Is this the child who carries the future of the Dracari?" he asked. Varnock stepped forward. "He is my son. He lives because of humans." Rethal's eyes narrowed. "Humans? Save a Dracari? This is unusual." Lena bowed slightly. "We did what any doctor would do. We saved a life." Rethal studied her for a long moment. "Your kindness is unexpected," he said finally. "But the council is divided. Some see this as weakness, others as a new path." He turned to Varnock. "You have defied the council to protect your son. You will answer for this." Varnock did not flinch. "I answer only to my son's life." In the following days, secret talks began between humans and Dracari leaders. The outpost was filled with diplomats, soldiers, and scientists. Everyone wanted to see if peace was possible. Rakul grew stronger. His wings spread wider. He learned to flap and hover with Lena and Varnock watching proudly. One day, Lena brought a small silver necklace. It had a heart-shaped charm. "Rakul," she said softly, "this is for you." Varnock smiled. "A gift from humans." Rakul reached out and touched the necklace. His eyes shone bright, but peace was fragile. Some warriors still wanted war. Some humans feared the dragons would attack again. Rumors flew like wildfire. One night, a group of soldiers prepared to storm the medbay. They believed Rakul was a threat. Varnock and Lena sensed danger. "Not tonight," Varnock growled. "We protect him." With calm strength, Varnock stood at the door. His presence alone stopped the soldiers. They lowered their weapons. "Remember why we are here," Lena said. "We are protectors of all life." The soldiers nodded slowly and withdrew. Finally, the Dracari Council made their decision. They would form an alliance with the humans. Rakul's blood held the secret to curing the disease killing many Dracari. Scientists from both sides would work together. Soldiers would protect peace. The galaxy watched in shock. The fierce Dracari, once feared as ruthless warriors, had chosen friendship. At the ceremony marking this new alliance, Varnock stood beside Lena. Rakul sat on his father's back, the silver heart necklace shining in the light. Elder Karos spoke. "We once believed only strength could save us. Now we see that kindness and trust can be stronger." Captain Tessa smiled. "Together, we will build a future where no child must suffer alone." Varnock looked at Lena and then at his son. His voice was soft but proud. "You saved my son. You saved my people." Lena replied, "You taught us to hope." As the crowd cheered, Rakul chirped happily. He flapped his small wings and took a short flight, circling above. The future was uncertain, but for the first time, it was full of promise. The story of a male dragon who took his young to a human doctor had changed the galaxy forever.